struggling in their own right, so we'll see. We'll see what Flight can bring to the table as we kick off game one, Flight versus G2.
G2, Rizzo, good pop, too committed. It was open, and then, well, G2 will let that one go. That was a big chance to take an early lead here against Flight. For Flight, that's a situation where, okay, well, G2, they had a gimme, we got away with that, and now how do we respond here? I think Flight really have to throw the first punch. If they don't, it's gonna get out of hand. All the time in the world for JNAPS to get to that ball.
And he got the corner boost steal.
Seabass has to play this slow with no boost. He tried to time that touch to Rizzo, now in danger, barely blocked by Rapid.
Rapid did a good job of making sure he was hovering just behind that ball to make sure no one from G2 could hit it around him. JNAPS blasted the ball right into Rapid.
We're still waiting for Rapid to really get going in the RLCS. He's been a miss there, gives the ball to Chicago. But it hasn't worked. And you could say that for almost every player on Flight except maybe Seabass.
Oh, and some confusion on the back wall. That's going to cost him. JNAPS smacks it past. And look here, Jorby. Seabass and Rapid were both on the wall together in that same spot.
It was a product of not having any boosts. They kept getting the boost stolen from them. And again, it's G2 locking the play down in midfield. They can't break out, and so you get that situation. Seabass was in that same position earlier with 12 boost on the side, on the back wall, and he was forced to have to play reactive. If you're gonna do that against G2, you're gonna lose. Still slow to that touch. Rizzo up for this. Rapid picking up a demo on the line. Memory. High center ball for Rapid. Rapid off the back wall and taken away by JNAPS.
Well done by JNAPS. Rapid. Looks like he had a good first touch. The dunk rolling into the low corner. Get JNAPS another one.
It's perfect approach here on the challenge. Takes it on the far left, so no matter what, no matter how Seabass goes for that ball, the best option he has is to try to flip the same way JNAPS is and force the ball up the side wall. And JNAPS, he took advantage on his positioning. Goal. Just Flight get it off the kickoff. Woo. Rizzo, good save. Memory, another shot, but it's blocked again. Before it can even get there, that time by Chicago. Slight whiff from G2.
They struggled a bit off the kickoff. They're trying to recover right now. And that 50-50 goal, you hate to see those as a player. Those are so infuriating.
It definitely does not feel good as third man losing a challenge like that when it rolls just in the perfect spot for the other guy. That's the sort of situation that Flight have found themselves in.
Losing another big 50-50 there. JNAPS again winning that big time. JNAPS starting to make a name for himself in game one on these challenges.
Ooh, and Rizzo on the backside, keeping the ball locked here in midfield. JNAPS taking away the side boosts and booms it away. I mean, Flight are just having trouble finding any space against G2. A lot of these clears away from teammates and really just desperation clears for boost. Rapid gets a good touch here, sends it across. Rizzo.
He was ready for the double tap. He knew what Rapid wanted to do. Gets the clear, but the assault from Flight, and that was the shot for them. Memory coming off, and now another follow-up. Seabass gets the goal.
Seabass cleans this up well. Rapid and Memory. Memory just did not get a solid touch on that. Chicago on the attempted carry. And Seabass just took advantage.
He even had some boost there. Chicago trying to dribble that out, took too much time. He had to flick that or flip into it, challenge it or something. Didn't do it in time. He just gets dunked on cleanly. Flight right back into this one.
Yeah, it puts them within striking of a tie, and Memory does it right there off the kickoff. Flight tie it up quick.
Multiple instances of G2 struggling off kickoff. Chicago backflips there, tries to get into position, but Memory up in the air, perfect shot. Saw that Chicago was flipping, having trouble getting situated. Places the shot right where he needs to, and another difficult kickoff for G2.
Oh, and Memory wins that touch. Another shot was coming. JNAPS took it away. Yeah, Flight were winning some of those 50s, especially on the kickoff. Like, it was that next touch, that next 50 just was perfect for Flight. Rapid Well, Flight are starting to play with a little more speed. Demo to give up space for Seabass. Seabass taken away.
Chicago respawned right as Rizzo hit that and hit it downfield. Fortunate for G2.
It feels like Flight are getting more comfortable now overall. Better approaches on the ball. Not losing the touch to G2. But it is JNAPS in midfield. Keeps that close. Can't send it across. Rapid sends it away. Rizzo right on top of him. Off the back wall. Shot maybe. No, denied by Memory. Memory attempting to clear. Rapid going to keep moving down. G2 were playing pretty tight there. JNAPS picks up the ball again. Chicago bumping him out of the way. Shot up high off the post. Nothing. JNAPS trying to get something else going. What a pass from the knapsack. Chicago confirms.
The second effort from JNAPS. It takes a difficult bounce off the crossbar, but he never lets go of boost. Sticks with the play. Sets up Chicago in the middle. Great hustle from JNAPS. And great reaction time as well. That ball, when it bounced off the crossbar, it made it where he couldn't score himself. But it didn't stop him from feeding Chicago that goal.
G2 late lead, game one. Rizzo just keeping that ball away. That would have been a clear for Flight. Instead, Flight have to work for this. Seabass against Rizzo, pops it up. Do they have a tying goal in the Memory? Third man, hits that up one up high. Maybe wanted a pass to his teammate on the way back. It was Rapid. Rapid securing the midfield boost. Now on top of the ball, he's over one defender, but it's cleared again by JNAPS and Rizzo. Killing as much time as possible on their own end. Seabass attempting to clear. JNAPS will easily kill the ball, and G2 win game one.
But Flight looked great that series, especially with their physical plays going for these demos. However, G2, too many things in that bag, in that knapsack. Jarby, too many things. He got 2 goals and an assist, a save, and 5 shots, all fit in that bag.
He's swinging that huge bag. It hurts. It hurts. But, I mean, JNAPS popped off. Absolutely. And even at the end, there was that little touch. I mean, we're going to take a look at this pass right here to Chicago.
That effort. You see there, you can see the alpha boost trail. He never lets go. Watch. After it bounces off crossbar right here, he's holding it this entire time and only has 8 left in the tank and sets it right on Chicago's nose.
It was just perfect execution mechanically. And that's you know, we watch JNAPS do that, and it's like, that's why people love JNAPS, because he does stuff like that.
You commit so hard as well, because Chicago was low on boost. If JNAPS hits that ball out into the middle after using up all his boost, and Chicago's diving in towards net, if a defender gets the save, you're putting Rizzo in a almost hopeless situation where he's going to have to stop a 3-person or 2-player counterattack. But they knew they had the opening. JNAPS seized that opportunity. Chicago was right there for him. Rizzo was making plays, just trying. One thing Rizzo loves to do is always go for that unpredictable touch or try to mess up the defense by, I mean, you see it all the time. Someone will come in and challenge, and Rizzo will just tap it around them perfectly, put it up high, get the chance to his teammates to generate a goal. And G2 was doing just that. But Flight stuck with them every step of the way, and also were dominating off kickoffs.
Yeah, we'll see if they can continue that.
And that looked like a set piece as well.
It did. It's just that it's that next 50 that was crucial for Flight on both of those kickoff opportunities that kept them alive on offense.
And that looked like it was an intentional miss to allow the person who was cheating to come out and get right back into it. But regardless, Flight off kickoff, getting control, and got them some goals last game. See if they can continue it here, and we'll also see if they continue all those demos, Jarby.
And I mean, last game for G2, if they get on offense, they are so tough to crack. They steal so much boost. They're second only to NRG in stolen boost, and it's hard to crack out of that. For Flight, if you never have to deal with G2 on offense, then, well, you'll be successful. JNAPS with 0 boost, though, has control for G2, and midfield belongs to the orange side. Rapid on the pass from Seabass. Long pass to Memory. That'll just buy some time. Ooh, hard pass to Chicago with a boomer.
If Chicago doesn't get there in time, that ball bounces hard off the wall and puts G2 in a rough spot. Chicago, I didn't even think he had the time to get there.
It's that long car hype, James. Power of the dominance. Ooh, good pass to Chicago, puts it just a little high. Seabass attempted clear, blocked out by Rizzo. Memory has a lot of space past midfield. He does flip it over one. but G2 have the ball. High ball for Chicago, misses by a pixel. Rizzo, nothing, and JNAP's forced to retreat. Memory right on top of him. Still, even though G2, the clear has forced them back to their own back wall a couple of times, they haven't really given up possession. Good passes on the transition downfield, but Flight, credit where it's due, and JNAPS says no, and scores the first goal for G2.
JNAPS, he's a killer. That killer instinct going right for it. There's two defenders in net, Seabass and Memory. JNAPS doesn't care and just drills it past.
It really was a beautiful shot.
JNAPS,
he's popping off.
He really is. You know, it reminds you of Season 4.
Oh, man.
Back when he was maybe at his peak. Getting League Play MVP. Season 6 Golden Striker. Season 7. You know, they made it to the World Championship Grand Finals.
He didn't get the nickname Knapsack for nothing.
Yeah, and he's showing us why.
Oh,
and
off the crossbar.
Oh, remember, you have to put those away.
That's another opportunity for Flight. A chance to score, and they can't put it away. Can they put this away? No, it's a bouncer right into Chicago. JNAPS has a breakaway opportunity past midfield. Memory just cuts him off. Rizzo will take the ball away from Flight. Ends up hitting it right back into Rapid, though. Oh, Rapid comes straight down off of the ceiling. The ball came off the ceiling, and Rapid sneaks it under.
A highlight from the rookie. Is that a double pinch? It looks like he pinched it off the ceiling, immediately boosts down and pinches it off the ground. I have never seen anything like that, Jorby.
He scored, that's 2 goals like that he scored in the RLCS. Comes down the ground
pinches,
and they look exactly the same.
And one tank of boost off the ceiling and off the floor.
And that's what people are expecting out of Rapid, or maybe expected more of it consistently. Oh, Chicago maybe rushed that a little bit on the touch, tried to sneak it in off the pinch on the post. But Flight has struggled to find that kind of gumption out of their play. Rapid just kicks it across himself, and it's a double tap converted for Flight. They have their first lead of the series.
Rapid must have been watching that rookie segment because he's playing like he's got something to prove. That double pinch goal right into the double tap goal. Rapid is making a statement in game 2.
And the defender jumped off the line expecting that double touch to be in the center. But where it hit off a Rapid's car, the bouncer ended up being in his favor. Good pass in the middle for G2 off the kickoff, saved by Seabass. Rapid losing the challenge to Rizzo, up quickly with Chicago, but now Chicago, G2 aren't winning these touches on offense, James, and it's really been a struggle for them to get some consistent offense against Flight. Nothing really going in the corner there for Flight. JNAP's on top of the ball again. Great passing play. Net was open for a second, but Rizzo had to come in to make the challenge. Rapid right on top of this ball.
Smart back pass from Rizzo.
Ooh, Rapid downfield for that pass. Does continue for Flight. Chicago and JNAP's committing to that play. Seabass gets back to his touch. We've settled down here a little bit on the action. Some passing plays for both teams, but nothing has really materialized.
Another demo from Rapid. Good pass over to Chicago, but Chicago wasn't ready for it.
Tough in traffic as well. Maybe a little boost. Memory, no boost to chase that down. It might be a dead play here for Flight. Seabass buying a little bit of time. Rapid actually hops right on top of it. He's winning a lot of 50s in this game. They're retaining this lead as time is expiring. G2 trying to move down the field. Pass to Chicago. Seabass, he's got it cut off. He's demoed. Rapid right behind him. Flight have not given up this ball for about the last minute. One more clear attempt for G2. JNAPS won't keep it in the air, and Flight, they hand G2 only their second game loss of the season.
Off the plays of Rapid. Rapid 2 monstrous goals. And those are certainly going in the montage.
Agreed. They should. Yeah, Rapid. That was the story of that game pretty much, but then also better positioning from both Memory and Seabass at the end of that game to lock G2 down.
And then another angle from that double tap. Rapid Knew exactly what he wanted to do with it. There's a quality pass from Memory as well. JNaps tried to block the angle, but Rapid bounced it right underneath him.
Yeah, coming back on that play, tough to save. But even at the end there, G2 didn't lose sight of what they were trying to do. Flight just did a good job boxing them in. Even on some of those attempts where they were being boxed, Rizzo's like, wait, we have space, passes it back to JNaps. JNaps did the same thing over to Chicago. They just couldn't get it done. Flight recognized it, they took advantage, and closed down G2 on offense.
They certainly did, and they're also winning the aggression game. You just look at the number of demos. Flight has been really aggressive, even Rapid on a few plays, just trailing the G2 players before breaking off, going for the ball, going for the challenge. So Flight getting aggressive, and it's helping them out, but Rapid just hit 2 big goals. You wonder if he still has it in him. He's playing like the rookie of the day, and at least in that game. Shock put up a great performance before, but if Rapid can keep playing like he just did in game 2, maybe, just maybe, Flight can pull off this upset.
A lot of fans came into this game thinking it might be an easy 3-0 for G2, but a sweep no more. Flight start the journey here against G2, but oh, there's Chicago off the top rope. Double tap in, 1-0 G2.
And that was filthy. Chicago decided he'd need one for himself. Seabass almost gets there in time. JNaps also hammered that off the sidewall, gets that out to the middle. Chicago in the middle, ready for those plays. Him and JNaps, the chemistry is there.
Chicago last week, it took him a little bit to get warmed up. He had missed a couple of shots early in the series against the Knights, and then he just picked it up later in the series. G2 start things off with a bang. Rizzo feigning the challenge to try to get a win on that 50. It does retain possession here for G2. But when the win from Chicago again, up quickly was JNaps. The bouncer saved by Memory, but that's a pop-up for Rizzo. Rizzo off the backboard. Shot is blocked again by Rapid. Well, a good approach for Rapid.
That was, what, 4 opportunities for a shot in a row from G2? All started off by the team passing play. They have such a high-powered offense, G2. It's tough to hold them back.
They win that next touch on offense on the pass, and they get 1 touch on the back wall. Oh, hang on a second. Chicago sends it back again. It's just awkward situations that Flight have to fight their way out of. That's the part of the danger of G2's offense, is when you put that many shots in every time. They're just everyone. Individual performances. This time it's Seabass.
Seabass, we know he's got it in him. It looks like he even got jostled a bit. Has to fly quite the distance to even get that first touch. Touches it right around the defender, then gets the double tap. Seabass, that was nasty.
Man, that was great. Wait, another one taken away, this time by G2. Good challenge from Memory. Rizzo attempted clear, taken away by Seabass. Chicago, he's getting it out to JNaps, but midfield belongs to Memory. Over to Rapid, cut off by Chicago. And the passing for both teams, it's been good, but the cutoffs have been just as good. The passing lanes are tough to find, but both teams haven't abandoned the passing game. And it's been fun to watch so far on both ends of the pitch.
It really has, but also for Flight, just the individual effort. The individual efforts from Rapid and now Seabass, they have been going for passes, but what seems to have been working is just the raw ability from some of these players to make the plays all on their own.
Long clear, quick pass for Rizzo. We'll continue to move back and forth on the pitch here. Ill-advised, but we're good. Rizzo's downfield. Another long clear. Rapid's just playing this long clear game, and he's going to score off the own goal. 2-1. The Flight have a lead.
A huge pass from Seabass all the way downfield to Rapid. Chicago only had 19 boosts, not that much time to react. And that is how you do a counterattack. The full field.
I'd like to look at Chicago's perspective again, because maybe it was that flip that forced the own goal. If he doesn't flip there, maybe he pops it up.
He just was trying to get back in time.
Yeah.
The shot, he had to race to it, just wasn't there in time. Got a piece of it, but not enough.
Oh, JNaps bumped a couple of Flight members there. in net, it could have been a potential goal for G2. But we're gone, and that's done. JNAP's in midfield on the 50. Memory, he's got Rapid downfield again, but a little bit of space to at least get a touch. Chicago wins, back over to JNAP's. Rizzo, high, no. Too low for Memory. Still, JNAP's winning that one touch, even with low boost, gives Rizzo a clean chance at the ball. Pass towards center, nothing for Rizzo.
That was the right idea. It looked like JNAP's just stopped going for it. Another center shut down by Rapid.
Oh, Rizzo trying to find that outlying pass. Instead, it's a cross pass to Chicago. Nothing for G2, but they continue to press. Chicago off the ceiling. One flip will get him nothing.
Multiple centers for G2, and that looked like it was going to be the one. Chicago, there were no more defenders left in net. It looked like he might have been able to get that, but now pushes that wide. However, G2, they are frothing right now. They are wanting to just put this ball by, and they're looking aggressive as they continue to batter the net. That one just off as well.
Oh, and then that shot from Rizzo right for Seabass as he picked up the save. I mean, these are great passes from G2. Over to Rizzo, he's gonna keep it going. JNAPS has no boost, so he'll collect, look for a demo. Chicago, light pass over to Rizzo. Rizzo has a little bit of space, flips over one, and he thinks out another off the post and in! G2 tie the game!
Rizzo is always thinking that next step ahead, goes for the dribble, gets the mind game, and challenges it through.
Well done.
That is how you do it, Jorby.
Wow. I mean, that was G2, that was a product of just all that pressure. Every time they were on offense, 4 or 5 shots on net. Or it's like, oh, now Flight have to play a rebound off the backboard. Very uncomfortable defense for Flight. Off the kickoff, they are on offense. And we have an entertaining series, to say the least. Rapid is always hunting downfield. Like, every time I see this long clear, Rapid's just roaming around in midfield, waiting
looking for bumps, looking for demos, ready for a redirect. You're right, he's being a nuisance.
Lots of value, but here's G2. Chicago, no boost, can't chase. Taken away for now. We could have overtime. We'll see how this develops. JNAPS.
Bump from Rizzo.
Back to Rizzo. Chicago, he's got the pass. The shot is blocked by Memory. Woo!
Rizzo had bumped a player on the back wall so that he could get priority on the ball.
And now we're in overtime here for Flight. They take control on the kickoff. Memory's challenge is only going to be for Chicago. Rizzo downfield waiting for this. Chicago pulling off for JNAPS, pass to Rizzo. Back downfield to JNAPS, who trying to chip Rapid on his way back to the ball. Big clear for Flight. Chicago bangs it off of his own back wall, and then Rizzo gets that continuing touch, but they're still pressed against their own back wall right now to start OT. Good win from JNAPS, like that carry. And then Rizzo as well, getting on top of that. Chicago slowing it down. Tried to go on the backside of Seabass, it's saved. Rapid can't pick it up. Rizzo up high. Seabass can't chase that down. Memory has to jump up. That's off the ceiling. Chicago, can he shoot it? It's off the post. Nothing. Rizzo keeps it going off the backboard. Where's the support? Chicago keeps it going. JNAPS, shot, and it's off the crossbar and out. Rizzo, he gets stomped on his way up, and he gets blocked by Seabass. Nothing for G2. Flight, hang on.
Seabass, he was the last line of defense. Rizzo floating in. It was an awkward ball. He wasn't going to be able to get much power, so he had to place it perfectly. Seabass, however, had a different plan. Kept that ball out. That was as close as it gets.
Oh, a defensive stand for Flight. Can they convert it into an offensive opportunity? JNAPS pulling off the ball. Chicago losing the challenge to Seabass. Rizzo there in midfield. He beat Rapid clean. Back around, looking for something. JNAPS in midfield. He's got Chicago down. And it's blocked again by Seabass. Rapid picked up a demo on the backside. Now he's in front of the ball. Rapid under JNAPS, but he just cannot keep it going. Still, it sets across. G2 all of a sudden on defense. Seabass pops this up.
It was a huge demo from Rapid. That single demo allowed them to get all this pressure that we're seeing.
But they got cleared out again. Rapid gets his own boost. He's off the ceiling. He loves those ground pinches. This time challenge. Chicago and Memory up. Memory wins over to Rapid, steals the boost. Trying to approach that touch from Rizzo, takes it away from him. Seabass wanted a pass, but nobody's there. Rapid will respawn as Memory tries to clear this out from his own corner.
Remember using a lot of boost to get that second touch.
Seabass punts this down the field. JNAPS gets a solid touch in return. Chicago over to Rizzo. It's denied again by Seabass. All reliable and net in this overtime. It's a good touch from Chicago. Another challenge from Rizzo. 150 might be the difference in this OT. Seabass, long clear. And Rizzo gets another solid touch, forcing Rapid out to the corner. Pass over to Seabass. The shot is blocked, and Rapid almost got the dunk. It's not quite over. JNAPS gets right up into Seabass. Has a clear for G2.
All the G2 fans, their hearts stopped for a moment. Now 2v1, Rapid. Memory against JNAPS. Rizzo.
Oh my goodness. Bails him out. Hop back from the top. Chicago. Touch off the back wall. Shot, no, nothing. Memory had the block. The boost game has been about even. No one can have any sort of sustained pressure right now. It is back and forth. Rapid looking for that midair bump. He didn't get it. Rizzo downfield. The catch. One to beat, and he flips by Memory. G2 take game 3.
Rizzo, since when did he become the 1v1 authority? Slowing it down. He sees Memory standing flat tired and flicks for the lower corner. Rizzo, a massive game. Not only does he tie it up in the last minute of gameplay, he gets the overtime winner. Rizzo MVP.
Rizzo MVP.
Rizzo MVP. I see it in chat right now. I don't even need to be looking.
You know it. It is absolutely in chat. Even earlier in that overtime, where it looked like Flight, they had the pass in front of the box, and there was no one in net for G2. Rizzo jumped back from the very front of the box just to pop it up against the backboard, and that was the difference in that game. And Flight had so...
Look at the number of shots. I can't even count that high on how many shots
23.
there were. 23?
23 shots.
Thank you, Jorby, for that. 23 shots.
That's ridiculous.
And then Rizzo, I swear, as soon as he made that second play, I heard Turtle in the back. I heard him yelling it as well.
Yeah.
Rizzo MVP.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a game from him, especially in those final moments. But Flight, they're playing like a different team.
They look completely different.
Where was this Flight earlier?
Like, Cloud9 gave them so much space that they didn't utilize, and they weren't really losing the pitch game against Cloud9, and they didn't look anything like this.
They are playing with so much more speed.
Up to their potential.
They're playing to their opponents right now.
Yeah.
G2 is playing fast. They are passing that ball into the middle. They're getting a lot of good setups, but Flight is right there with them. And what I am loving out of Flight is all of that go upfield, get the demos, do what made a lot of teams successful last season, try to get in people's faces, and that has gotten them some opportunities but they're still not able to get it by G2. But that game was about as close as it gets. There was that 2v1 situation with JNAPS. There was a JNAPS save on the goal line, Seabass save on the goal line. That was a thriller.
Well, last week we had quite an upset in Europe with Singularity against Renault Vitality. Could we potentially have the makings of another one? G2, they outlasted Flight in game 3. Will it be the end for Flight, or can they force game 5?
Chicago, one thing that I'm noticing about him is that in those plays where it looks like it might be questionable whether he'll get to the ball in time on the back wall or high on the wall, he always manages to get there and get that difficult touch. He's so reliable.
And on the other end, Seabass on the backboard on his own end on defense. He was if Rizzo was the reason G2 stayed alive in overtime for G2, then Seabass was the reason Flight lasted as long as they did. Quick pass, and it's off the post. Rapid says, thank you. Plan that.
And poor Chicago, he's had some shot opportunities.
Well, we'll take a quick break there. They have some quick opportunities, James.
I was going to say, this doesn't look like normal gameplay to me.
Oh, yeah. It was good. Like, Rapid stopped, he was boosting. He's like, oh, yeah, it's because Rizzo.
I'm like, oh, this looks like more like my kind of game.
Yeah, I like it.
The
ball's staying there, and I'm like, oh, it's like, I thought I had a goal. No.
Well, we'll get this series back on track as soon as we can.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Jorby, that's the start of that game was more of what we've seen in the previous games. A little bit of back and forth, but G2 had some good possession. It was only a minute in, but this is going to be it. This is it for Flight. It's put up or shut up.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're watching this game at home, the big big if for both of these teams comes down to midfield 50s. Whoever wins that 50 and can get a chance on offense, it's going to be very deadly. I think for Flight, it's harder to get down the field because they're relying on booming clears on their own backboard. And
but that has worked. I mean,
it has worked.
It has worked. There was the play where Rapid was all the way downfield, and maybe that's what you go with. Maybe you let Rapid go for the bumps, be angry, get the demos, or at least push G2 back and have some of that space so he can get the redirect. You wonder what the formula is going to be. But from Flight, we haven't seen as much of a coordinated offense. We have seen some counterattacking plays, and that's really where they've been excelling against G2 is those counterattacks.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like it comes down to a 50, because when Flight they do get those couple of shots on net before the transition goes the other way. And if G2 can find a way to punish that, I think the way G2 are playing right now is fine. I think it's working against them. But, like you said, if Rapid picks up a demo, all he needs is space, and he's either going to ground pinch it or, score. So,
I mean, he might do a ceiling pinch into a ground pinch.
I'm still just kind of taking it in after watching Flight against C9, because it's like, Flight are 0-3. You can't lose any more series. You've lost your max amount of series.
It's starting to get dire.
If you have hope of making regionals or even worlds,
I think at this point you're trying to just avoid that 10th place spot,
just
because again, you finish 10th this season, you're automatically going down into the rival series. You don't get to go to the promotion tournament to fight for your spot. You're just out.
And you could make the argument for Flight that they've gone through the gauntlet in the first half of their season. I mean, they've had to play NRG, now they have to play G2. It's tough, but this is the best. They did not look like this at all against NRG.
If they can play like this against some of the other teams, you go. They have a chance. They have a shot. However, one thing that you see on teams sometimes that are near the bottom is they do tend to play up or down to their opponents. It's something that we saw earlier today against Cloud9. It appeared like they were playing a little bit slower. Yeah. They weren't as clean. But now against G2, they're picking up the pace out of necessity. They're just playing up and down, and that. It can be encouraging, telling you that yes, we have the ability to hang at this level, but you want to be able to blow past your opponents. If your opponents are having a bad day, you need to be able to put them into the dirt. And we haven't seen that out of Flight, but we have seen some mechanical plays out of Rapid, out of Seabass. They're going to need a lot more than that to bring it back in the series. They're just one game away from falling to G2.
Well, speaking of Rapid, during the pre-show, we did give our list of our top 3 rookies in North America, and you'll see them on the graphic right here. Gibbs putting first killer firsts, and the rest is pretty much across the board.
Did you ask them to put this up just because you wanted to brag about how right you were?
How right we are.
I mean, I'm not going to say you're incorrect there.
I would say that you and I have very similar lists. That's what I would say.
Almost identical.
Yeah,
it appears.
It's crazy how that works. But we all put Rapid at the bottom of this list, and it's less that Rapid is, not a great player. Obviously, we've stated multiple times why Rapid is a good player. It's just we saw Shock play earlier today. There's a reason he got nominated.
It's a good class of rookies for North America.
Yeah,
not that many this season.
Only 3.
But all of these guys have phenomenal ability, and they've already proven it. But Shock up there at the top of the list. I don't think you can argue that after today. He went head-to-head with First Killer and took him down. So Shock up there at the top. Rapid, though, we saw earlier that ground pinch or ceiling pinch to ground pinch. All these guys are very talented players. You can't get into the RLCS without being incredibly talented. So we'll see how Flight season shapes up. But this is a critical moment in their season. If they lose here, dropping even further down the ladder.
That's it. That's it for me. It's like you said, now you're fighting to stay out of 10th place. And that's it. And maybe you just hope you get the top spot in the promotion tournament. 0-4 is this is the first time we've had 10 teams in a season. Can a bounce back happen? Can you go 5-4? I mean, if you look like this and you've gotten most of your hard games out of the way, if you end up losing this next game to G2, then Flight are more on my now how do they build upon this series? Because I think this series is a perfect series to look at in what you can build on. But you're playing against this.
Works. Yeah,
you're playing against this.
G2, they picked up where they left off last week. We did see some holes in their play, particularly off kickoffs. They have been pretty weak in this series. Also vulnerable to those demos and vulnerable to those counterattacks, which was something that they struggled with last season. However, G2's high-powered offense continues to deliver results. But look at that play. That was something else from Rapid. That was quite the play. And then he has another double tap here that we didn't get in the package, but still Rapid stepped up in that game too to equalize.
And we thank you for all your patience at home waiting to get this game back online. We are going to start at the 3:57 mark in game number 4. Scoreless still, so we're going to see how things pan out, but about a minute off the clock, and we'll be in game here in just a couple seconds. We both like the way G2 have looked. I think that Flight have absolutely played up to their competition. I don't think it's a factor of G2 playing poorly. I think that
they can get a win here. They can get a win here,
they can.
And then going into Game 5, they'll be feeling it. And they might be able to get an upset, and then their season is back on the right track. With a win here, they can get it. But this is a defining moment in their season where you're going to look back to this week and point to either where it all went right or where it all went wrong. I think it's this moment for Flight.
Game 4, back underway. Can Flight take advantage of their play today? Can they pull off an upset? JNaps, his shot just blocked by Seabass. Memory, good carry from him out to Rapid, who's downfield again. They're going to keep going for this. Rapid chips JNaps as well, makes it awkward for him. But G2 start on offense. Rizzo wanted a pass, but it's to nobody. That hit off the butt of Memory's dominance there. That was an interesting touch out. Maybe it just bounced out. Either way, nothing comes of it. JNaps wins cleanly. Memory was there.
Chicago couldn't get that mid boost. Rapid was able to snag it up. That'll allow Flight to get some pressure ongoing. It looks like Rapid was hunting for a demo on the back line.
And he is getting little chips in. It's slowing G2 down, but it's not really, hasn't really materialized into an opportunity for Flight yet. But again, Rapid's already downfield.
He was chasing Chicago all the way back to his back boost.
And he gets that demo, but Chicago does pick up the 50 win.
Rapid has gone full aggro.
I mean, it's worked. Flight look the best they've looked all season in this game. Low carry from Rapid, and he steals the boost. A lot of value on that carry from Rapid. Rizzo perfectly handled on the backboard. That's not perfect. Rapid and Seabass also get a little messy.
Good speed from JNaps to beat Rapid to that ball. Now Chicago, 0 boost, hoping to get it, and does manage to get that boost and the bump. Huge play from Chicago.
Oh, almost had that flip over into the net. That would have been sick. Nothing for G2. Flight hanging on. It's tenuous at times, but they are able to move down the pitch. Still, the passing from G2 so hard to beat. Rapid just missing that touch. Memory one-on-one against Rizzo, but having to go away. JNaps just converting his boost. Not a lot of room for either team right now. Oh, what a touch, and Chicago will convert. Oh, G2, JNaps, a sick pass yet again.
And another opportunity here.
Oh.
And look, I thought that Chicago might have gotten a hit, but no, it was actually a defender from Flight that bounced that off the corner. Chicago going for the challenge. And that went right out to JNaps. JNaps was ready for it. He's been expecting the pass in the middle. Now another pass in the middle to Rizzo. Double tap denied by Memory.
Very good. The clear game's great from Flight, but this is the issue here against G2. Chicago up.
Ooh. You saw what he wanted to do. He knew JNaps was in the middle, wanted to drop it down to him.
Rapid zoning Chicago off the play. He will continue to look for it. It keeps Flight in these situations, but they can't continue to pitch this ball down the field. Use all their boosts just to get that clear and chase the ball back down. That shot wasn't close enough. Rapid does get the midfield boosts. Confirms the zone, and Seabass and Rapid now on offense. Rapid wins one touch. He does get another touch there against Rizzo, but still, that's a tough rotation for Seabass to get around on. Memory can't win that touch, and now G2 have a breakaway opportunity off the back wall. Rizzo, shot too light. Seabass, not a good clear. JNaps puts it out to the side, and it will be cleared by Seabass back to Memory.
Another chance for G2. JNaps, if he gets that off the backboard, he maybe can get the pass. He went for the side wall,
Ooh, this
right.
is good. Oh, no. Double commit there from G2. I thought maybe that would have been a tying goal. Pass to JNaps. He wins that touch clean. Memory has one more clear down the field. Rapid's got an open net, and Flight have a tie game!
The counterattack has been deadly for Flight all game, and they do it again. Off his own back wall, Memory up to Rapid. Rapid is ready for those outlet passes. We saw Seabass connect with him earlier. Now it's Rapid, and it could not have come at a more important time. Just 7 seconds on the clock.
On the kickoff. Off the corner, it drops 2 overtimes. Can this work out differently for Flight? They dropped the last overtime at the 3-minute 30 mark. They got one more chance here to stay alive in this series against one of the most potent teams in North America. Around the corner, Chicago has a shot. Chicago cannot find the goal. It's Seabass, the netminder that time.
Seabass barely got that because Rizzo had faked going in for the demo and forced Seabass up his own back goal.
JNaps was really hunting for that ball. He was like, I dare you to send that down right in front of me. Demo for Rizzo. Seabass right in front, but it's JNaps' ball high off the backboard. It's going to be Rizzo's shot for free, and Rizzo's going to score all day in the air, and the potential MVP scores for G2.
Rizzo MVP. It's happening, whether you like it or not. Rizzo off the backboard, reads it, puts the shot in. 2 defenders there, but they could not make this stop. Rizzo and G2 getting the win in a decisive overtime Game 4 victory.
But all credit to Flight, who have looked the best that we've seen them all season. The road got that much harder for this team. They are 0-4. About half their season left to go. The best hope that they have of even making the playoffs is winning the rest of their games and running the table. But G2, when tested, even at what I still think is their peak gameplay, they still come out on top. This team is going to be this hard to beat the rest of the way.
I mean, how can you not be a fan of G2? This team, especially through their ups and downs, sticking together. Lots of teams were making changes, looking to mix things up. G2, despite finishing near the bottom, going to that promotion tournament, no changes, and now they are looking good, still undefeated, and Rizzo playing better than ever.
Well, halfway through our day, we got 3 more series left in North America. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.